Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends, welcome to the freshest episode of Hardly Acceptable. I'm gonna be, like, 100% honest. I don't know how I actually came up with that name, because none of the stuff I talk about or the energy that I give off actually correlates with, like, my temperament. I wonder if there's any news that would get me as uncontrollably heated as regular stuff used to do me in 2021, because let me be honest, that was not a good year for me. It was really strange. Emotionally, for me, it was terrible. It was my first time being out of my father's house, and I was trying to shake off all the emotional damage, but how I did that was through watching a lot of wrestling, and I even got anxious over that, like my life depended on the results, and I really thought they did, and at the time, I guess they did, but that's not why I drew away from wrestling. Don't even get me started on the people on Twitter. I don't think we'll be covering very much wrestling today, so I'm gonna get that out of the way. There are some important news factors that I will talk about in a minute, but first, I want to talk about something that ties into the social portion of our Eat It or Yeet It segment, so without further ado, are you eating this up or are you spitting this shit out? It could never be more apparent that we need to Molotov TikTok. I think we need to jump back to the era where it should be deathly embarrassing. I don't know. It should be, a hate crime to touch that app and tell people that you did, like 2020. But I do think it was even worse, the fact that people were on the app and not telling anyone, like it was some big thing. I can understand at the time people were being a little dramatic about having the app. Everybody was on it. We were all bored as hell, downloading it, making it our own with DIYs and crafts at home, with the stuff you have at home, with whipped coffee and Doja Cat dances, and becoming unfiltered, aggressively exposing ourselves for being just weird ass, terrible fucking people. I can't say that I'm not one of them. I just made edits and ranted, and I still am. But let's talk about a creator that I'm surprised I haven't heard much about before. I saw some of the content and the drama surrounding this creator before, but I've been watching a lot of the YouTuber I'm Alex, as I had mentioned in the last episode. If you're into that type of stuff, you might have heard of him. He's popular in the UK, because he's from the UK, and so is the creator that we will be talking about today. Probably seen her on your For You page. Yes, we are going to be talking about the lovely, and lovely is a very generous word, Elphaba. Elphaba is a famous, is it Elphaba? Elphaba? I don't know, I didn't fucking watch Wicked. I don't know absolutely everything yet about this creator. She does live streams, and they do, competitions and gift-offs, whatever the fuck you call it. I'm not in the TikTok live game with the Pinky doll and the ASMR. I watch speedruns, but that's about it. All the videos that I've seen, everything pop up in my recommended. Let's start from the beginning. I'm really honestly scared to talk about this, and I'm not a mental health professional. All I can say is it flew off the fucking handle. So take anything and everything I say with a grain of salt. And if I fuck up, don't hesitate to contact me on social media, or if you're one of my friends, just text me, call me out on it. Everyone knew something was up. Faking these mental disorders seems to be a common tradition or trend on TikTok. Not as much as it once was, but the importance of validating someone's problems and helping them through them and not feeling any indifferent from the rest of society is important now more than ever. School's starting back, and for a lot of people, that is not a safe place because they might get, bullied, or, they might have some difficulties that stop them from achieving what they really want to achieve. There's also, outside of school, there's a lot of pressure on the youth these days. I can say that because I'm 18. It's got to be twice as worse when you're not able to handle certain situations with a peace of mind. And not a lot of people have outlets to the professionals that can propose an examination on the things that they have endured and suffered with in their lifetime. So some might tend to say they have undiagnosed blank, which is way different than self-diagnosing yourself. I think it gives a lot of depth And it's a lot better than just saying, oh, I'm fine, I don't have anything to worry about, when you're obviously suffering with a lot of obstacles in your daily life. And many reasons as to why you think you could have this, with the way I live and how my parents observed my behaviors throughout my childhood. They thought I had autism, and they could have very much been right. I think I may still have it to this day, but I'm not going to go around saying it like I got a diagnosis to prove it. There's more information on this girl explained by the Reddit user Horror Chapter 1316, so I'd like to say thank you to them. This isn't even scratching the surface of her just being a rogue human being, not just morally, but in a lot of other ways. She can be very invested in what she does on her live streams, which is why she does it almost every single day, without fail. I'm serious. I don't follow her. I'm not going to put myself through that hell, but I think sharing that much of your life can be dangerous when it comes to cyberbullies and security, which, by the way, she makes too many excuses for the things that she does and her breakdowns, which, by the way, she makes too many excuses when it comes to, cyberbullying and having every bit of your life out there on the internet. It's a very serious topic. There's very popular clips of her breaking down and preaching cyberbullying and stuff and using all these excuses, which, girl, if you're going to squash down the people that actually have these disorders by faking them, that is only validating the fact that there are some people online that are actually going to come after somebody with a diagnosis and tell them that they're faking it, and just, there's a lot of scenarios on social media. Nobody is safe on social media. There's always going to be someone out there that is trying to break your stride, stop you from shining. You see a lot of it, and a lot of the discourse that she gets, the criticism, a lot of it is not cyberbullying either. It's all true. There's no excuse to being bullied, but she's not a very good person. And people are not going to lie to you about the fact. It's better, honesty is the best policy. Okay, now to get into the Reddit post like I was initially going to do. She's also made fun of people with depression. Bonus. She is 19 years old and doesn't shower or brush her teeth regularly. First of all, that statement alone. If I go 36 hours without showering, I feel lazy. I feel dirty. My teeth hygiene isn't great. I need to work on that. I actually need to go brush my teeth after I finish this podcast. But even I know better. I wonder what excuse she has for that. She realized she had lice, and instead of getting treatment, she went and got her nails done and a makeover at Sephora, further spreading the lice. Now, this may sound kind of disgusting, but people have literally seen her picking at her head on live, and it's... Woo. I think I had lice once. I can't remember. I was really young. Think about how dangerous that is to the customers and even the staff, though. I don't know if they missed it or heard anything about it. They should have denied her from the jump. That is not a good reputation for Sephora. And also, Elphaba has executed the fact that she only cares about herself quite well. I understand why she does all these lives all the time, and it's disgusting. She can't go a day without doing a live stream. People, they're feeding into this type of content, making her thousands of dollars on live stream. I think I read something about she gets 7.5K on live streams each week. Honestly, if you're a fan of her or not, go spend your money on something worthwhile. Buy yourself a nice dinner. Do something for yourself that's not this. And don't do it for her, more importantly. There's so many people online that are just, enabling this type of behavior, and it's really not okay. There's a couple of other popular UK creators. Chelsea and Evil Queen were talking about her for a long time last night. I don't know when this was, but that's what the Reddit post says. While Elphaba had just sat in Chelsea's flat, she had plenty of time to leave. People were even telling her to leave for hours, yet she waited until 3 a.m. Why? What happened? I don't know. She's made thousands of dollars from gifts that people sent her, yet someone else purchased her hotel. Waste of money and waste of your time. She tells people that the gift money is going towards her transition, but she goes and spends it on handbags, clothes, and makeup, which is already fucking laughable. I feel so bad for the people that... I think charities are very important. Even though I'm poor and don't always give myself the chance to donate anywhere, so I sound like kind of a hypocrite, but taking advantage of people's money, like saying that, and especially trans health, you're taking advantage of that subject and getting people to let you spend money at the shops and go to Sephora and give people fucking lice. If you can pay for a handbag, pay for a goddamn hotel. We need to look for sources every single time we donate to these people getting gender affirmation surgeries or these foundations so we know it's not bullshit. But no. Her fans aren't stupid enough to realize it. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep her in the limelight, but let's end that hardly acceptable topic. In this section, I will also be discussing some dirty themes, so if you don't want to hear that, feel free to skip. Cooking TikTok. I love me a good educated chef searing some steak and making me suffer with food that has textures that I won't be able to touch with my tongue. Texture's a very big thing for me. I'm just obsessed with, like, food. And the worst thing is, like, a habit that I have, I think everyone does that, they just watch food videos when they're hungry. If it were up to me, I'd be a food blogger. Like, getting to eat all this delicious food for free, and I get to post about it all the time. I take enough pictures of my food, and my brother hates me for it, but guess what? I don't really care. I'm never gonna get that food back again. I ate it once, and then it's gone. And I eat too fast. So that's another problem that I have. But as every TikTok community does, one rotten apple ruins the entire fucking bunch. When I'm watching a TikTok video, I don't expect people to violate the food. I want to eat it and savor it for the delicious aromas and flavors and the presentation. I don't want to watch you try to screw it. I'm watching a video of a man cooking chicken breast. That's the thing. It's mostly men. They know that they love to irritate me. Naturally, you know, I think there's too many men that try to turn everything into something dirty, which, you know, I don't care if you have veiny arms. The only veiny thing I want to see is a goddamn orange. I don't eat oranges very much, so that doesn't make any sense. I was on a TikTok page, right? Saw this guy rubbing the hell out of some dough or something. I don't care to go back and check. If I do that, I'll have to bleach my eyes. He even bothered to bring out his dog. That's enough for me. For one, you're getting dog hair in my food, and I don't want your pretty boy attitude, guys showing off their dogs to complete their cuteness. When I see a dog pop up in your lap, you don't exist to me. It's over, and I don't want to listen to you talk. The dog is mine now. Fuck off. Being absolutely foul with a peach or a chicken or a roast beef, I don't care what it is. It's food. It's meant to be cherished. Consumed with joy, and it's meant to give you energy. It's hard for me to have an appetite after that. Have you considered that? No, you never think about me. Our other media news, and I remade the decision to promote like older movies and TV shows on this here podcast because it is an independent project and nothing that I do is really under any company that is active in this SAG-AFTRA strike or the WGA strike. I want to get some more serious news out of the way first. We're going to be talking about a very simple but legendary actor, legend in the comedy industry, and a very big staple for me in my childhood. I'm crazy about nostalgia, so this one gets to me quite a bit. He also worked with Jim Henson a lot, which I didn't know until like a week ago when it happened. But we witnessed the passing of the late, great Paul Reubens, a.k.a. the actor who played Pee Wee Herman from 1981 to 2023. It does sting, because like a lot of other people, I was under the impression, by reading off the internet, about his scandal of going to an adult movie. Back in the day, people shat all over his reputation for doing that outside of, you know, the Pee Wee Herman character. This wasn't anything that was influenced by... Okay, how are you going to associate that with a children's show character without being a little sick yourself? So my dumbass read it, Someone accused him of being a pedo or something. And I decided to stick with it. Swore to not watch Pee-wee ever again. You know, I told my mom, and even she was like, you know that's a rumor, and I didn't. I didn't know any better. That is my biggest moral regret. But I also wanted to make sure I didn't turn this into anything, like, negative. We have to celebrate the stuff that he did in his career, and the way that I would be doing that is watching the entire series, which I have on DVD, but I don't know where it is. I hope I didn't donate it. I even have, or had, almost the whole series on DVD. I do not know where it is. I hope I didn't donate it, or I'm gonna be absolutely crushed. I also had Pee-wee's Big Holiday, which I cannot find anywhere on streaming. My dad kind of, like, indoctrinated me with Pee-wee's Playhouse, to say the least. Now, don't get me wrong, I did love it. It was actually it was in my top 10 at that time, and didn't have a lot of merchandise surrounding it, and even if I did, I don't have it with me. But the entertainment that he's brought so many people, all that's not gone. The best thing is we still have some of his best work. So, rest in paradise, and my love goes out to his family. So, movies. Now, spoiler warning. If any of the programs that I am talking about are on your list and you don't want me to reveal any spoilers, I suggest you stop listening, because we are going to be talking about Burlesque, featuring Cher and Christina Aguilera, Black Friday by Team Star Kid, and even the show Celebrity Big Brother. It's not a movie, but I don't care. Burlesque. Let me just say it. Let me just start with this, because it's mandatory for me to do so. I think if you are into the movie musical industry, you have to give Cher her flowers, because Burlesque is real popular. After all, she's also the one that technically gave autotune its rise to stardom. She may have had a different idea of it than what we normally hear in music nowadays. Well, there's a lot of overly autotuned songs. But, of course, she made it sound good. She paved the way. By the way, if you are starting to get into, or you're a fan of the female musical group ABBA, or approaching the genre they're involved in, she has a cover album. Yes, she has a cover album that consists of, I think, only ABBA tracks, and sounds like an odd choice, but she brought so much life to Gimme a Man After Midnight that I had no words. If I had listened to the full original version by ABBA prior to the Cher release, my opinion would probably be different. Don't hate me. I didn't get to that portion of expanding my music library. And referring to the topic prior to this, she was actually featured in the Pee-wee's Big Holiday Special singing her rendition of Feliz Navidad. That's out of the way. Everyone is talking about Burlesque. Somewhere, some way, somehow. Now, I had never heard of this movie until, first of all, you know, I was 5 years old when it came out, so I know nothing. I stumbled across a bit in Smosh Just Try Not to Laugh. I can't remember what exact video it was. I think it was Chance's first Try Not to Laugh. But it was one of Amanda's bits. Already laughed my ass off without knowing the context. Second of all, Brittany Broski and her little makeup tutorial on TikTok Live, rocking out to Welcome to Burlesque. Of course, that was before my Smosh high, but I found out what it was after watching it back. And little fun story, my mom's friend is doing Burlesque in drag. And little fun story, my mom's friend is doing Burlesque in drag. And I don't even know what number he's doing. I already want to see it more than anything. I will fight someone for a ticket, not only due to my love for the routines that are showcased in Burlesque, but I want to support my mom's friend. He actually directed a play for this high school in my area, and of course, loved the concept and the comedy aspects. It was actually the first play that I've ever seen, but it was too long for my impatient ass. But as all plays and musicals go, I'll be honest about Burlesque. I do not see the entertainment outside of the dancing and Cher's "screw your mama and keep staring" line. The love story was basic, but I was not in the mood, especially to see the guy get the girl by public exposure. He showed his full ding-dong without her consent in his own house. And he had just got off he had just broke off an engagement with this one girl I don't understand how people liked that part. Changing the subject, if we're getting into Smosh, we might as well talk about Team Star Kid. I really wasn't thinking about getting into musicals, but after hearing about Star Kid and seeing how many people from Smosh came from theater, I want to more than ever. Another musical group that I did not shy away from, because Angela's already one of the most funniest cast members to grace Smosh in only her first full year of making videos with them. Black Friday, I heard everyone talking about Black Friday, so I gave it a shot. It's this musical piece about this Tickle Me Wiggly whatever the doll that's being marketed to children on Black Friday. And this man wants to buy it for his son who just, he just wants him to be happy. He had his mom killed in a car wreck. That's already a big swerve. Really lovely story. Now, at the time of recording this, I had just finished the musical the other day. And my final opinion, it was a perfect amount of humor. I don't know if I could say perfect amount of musical numbers. It was loaded with singing. I don't understand how Ethan died from a punch. It's kind of funny. Hannah doesn't understand the concept of being emo. It's like a Disney Channel original series level of cringe, but luckily that's like the only negative, I guess. But it turns out all the people we were meant to be rooting for are actually maniacs. The whole plot of this was to go again. This is why I hate Black Friday. Even more now. I used to like it because I'm a shopaholic, and if I see a deal, I'm grabbing it. If you didn't have a reason to hate Black Friday before, it's all laid out in this. Especially one of the songs that's nearing the second half of the show, and I'll get to that. It's some cultish, unearthly, alternate creature that's not only supposed to be a doll. People are losing their minds over it. And Lex, the one that's running away, taking her sister from under her mother's wing, which is already pretty fucked up. We already had the story about the mom dying. She was the right one all along. She started pulling guns on people and would do anything to protect her sister. Thought the guy didn't give a shit about his son, but she gave him that classic pep talk. She's like, man, do you see the cash flow? Her ending song, Black Friday, already made me emotional. She's more important in the story than you would believe. There's a part with the president going into a portal. I'm not going to say too much about that because, oh my god, that part's golden. The ending just, threw me way off. It's very in-depth. Highly recommend you watch it for yourself. It's all about glutton and financial greed. Just what we need more of. In an apocalyptic form of war. Because Made in America. That's the song. And it speaks for itself. The beginning and end are historically distant. You'll want to watch it all the way through. 9 out of 10. Highly recommend. Celebrity Big Brother. Now, I know Big Brother is a big topic right now. They're doing Big Brother 25, and I'll tell you, I was watching the live feeds on Pluto TV, which is already, weird. I'm literally watching people just live their normal lives. It's kind of scary, but they literally are getting paid to do that. It's a reality show. They have to follow you with the camera. And it's surveillance footage too, but it's still weird to me. But with Celebrity Big Brother, I'm talking the ones with the icons that we know and love today. You'll see them on Twitter in a bunch of memes. Gemma, Nikki, rest in peace, and Tiffany. I even used a Gemma meme myself recently, but I didn't just watch for them. I like trash TV, and I would definitely consider this trash TV because I can't get through one episode of Jersey Shore. I fucking hate Love Island. X on the Beach. That is where I draw the line. Jersey Shore. They don't even punch women on Jerry Springer. And in the nicest way, I want to give every person who has been in the audience on Jerry Springer a good beating. The degrading, the ones who make the sexist jokes and the fat shaming comments. If you watch that show with pride knowing that they do that to people who are, like, already suffering, and you're in my presence, like, respect my opinion, it's actual trash. I will watch it if it's on Nosy sometimes, but, you know, it's my last resort. I have no fucking idea what's going on with Big Brother 25 right now. If enough people try and convince me to watch it, I might. Coincidentally, I started watching Celebrity Big Brother before Big Brother 25 started trending. I can't remember. I don't pay attention to reality on social media. I'm mostly just watching Steve Wilkos. Godsend. Court Cam is a little over the top, but, you know, not everything. One man's trash is another man's treasure. All I'm saying is the concept of Big Brother is a little fucked. It's nice to get to see, from our point of view, all these different people, like, where they come from, all their different personalities, but they literally have to, like, fight and play games to get basic hygiene. The scene with, that one woman and her, like, black vest and the red towel from Big Brother 2006? Celebrity Big Brother 2006? I don't want to know. No, it was normal Big Brother. I don't know why I'm saying Celebrity Big Brother. Nikki wasn't on Celebrity Big Brother. But I don't like it. Shabazz is my worst enemy. But that's just Shabazz. And was on Big Brother. Fill in the blank. It should tell you enough. In musical news, we're kind of staying on a sour note. And this one is a tricky one. Because like I'd mentioned, you know, I was born in 2005, so I didn't get to experience a lot of great music, as well as being heavily sheltered from it. Like, I missed the prime of certain bands, but also as a kid, I swore against rock, such as the Beatles, which is crazy, because I'm starting to, like, actually get into them. My favorite song recently is Eleanor Rigby, but I only like the 2022 mix, because I don't like what the original does to my ears. I missed out on a lot of the alt-rock culture, like punk, emo, the likes of Blink-182, Green Day, Linkin Park, and now System of a Down. It's been a lot of punk recently, though. Like, some of those bands now take up a quarter of my music library. I mainly listen to that stuff. I say a quarter because I indeed have a lot. But the reason I emphasized on System of a Down, and I don't know if this is, like, news, I heard it on the radio, but as of 2023, bassist player for the band Shavo Oda, I'm not going to try, confirmed that the band is still on a musical hiatus. Although they have performed together as of recently, kind of upset I didn't get to see them live, but it's okay. Probably would have gone feral anyway, and that is for the safety of the people around me. Even going as far to releasing an album excluding the band, and I use that term lightly, I don't mean like they strictly cannot make music or perform without each other. Band's gonna band. But don't get me started on Sum 41. I was starting to like their vibe, and then they announced their split. Unforgivable. But that's good news. I might review it one day, might not. I don't really review music too often, but I imagine his new album will be tasteful. Sports. Let's go for it. Last time we talked, I discussed the premium live event that was WWE SummerSlam and gave my thoughts on a few of the matches, but in the latest WWE news, we figured we were missing too much of the women. Which doesn't help because one of their more infamous women superstars, Lacey Evans, there are rumors flying around that she quit or got released, fired because she's changed her social media handles. I have a life, so I don't really pay attention to that stuff. But when I saw it, I was like, please let this be my saving grace, because I know she's already a far-right ass bitch. In the nicest way possible. Try to complain about how processed foods can give your kid autism. She literally did an ad for corn dogs with her child, which I don't understand. Anything for the money, I guess. She already couldn't wrestle. Carried by Bayley in their feud. I don't really have anything nice to say about Lacey Evans. I was okay with the two matches that we got at WWE SummerSlam, but don't get me wrong. It's absolutely no secret that women's wrestling has not tapped its full potential since Evolution for like a few months, and then they forgot about it. Hashtag give divas a chance. Becky Lynch, who even had the main event at Evolution with Charlotte Flair. Was it the main event? I can't remember. Probably should have been. She was meant to be booked for a match with Hall of Famer Trish Stratus at SummerSlam, and she took to social media about it, and the work she's been putting in since having a daughter and coming back to the business does not need to go unnoticed. You know, she's making a big fuss about it on Raw, which I love, by the way. Fans took to social media as well, as there was a huge outpouring, and I agree with absolutely every single one of their opinions. Like, we praised Triple H so much for handling the pressure of taking over creative when Vince first stepped down, which was on my birthday of all days, you know. It was a good birthday, I'll tell you that. But it pisses me off that we know he's not alone. Let's take the fact that there are rumors of Becky going to Hollywood. They come and go. I wouldn't hang on to that just yet. I mean, from what I heard, they surely discussed backstage. Becky Lynch is like Triple H's NXT rookie. So, like, there's a lot of negativity writing off this one situation when it first started. But I would absolutely say, let's look at the better part of this, and the show that Becky's putting on right now with the Life Gives You Lemons, she could be getting her big moment soon. Like, they just announced they're going to have a steel cage match, as well as Trish. Excellent heel work lately, and putting over the magnificent Zoe Stark as her protege only intrigues me more, like, every single time. But we cannot keep settling for the bare minimum. Every single woman on the roster deserves everything they can get. And if Triple H can leave the saving of the world to both the men and women, they might reverse the tag title curse. But do not let Rhea be a Roman, please. She's a mullet advocate, and I just want to cut it all off. Same goes for her Pookie. Asuka is also seemingly displeased. Stardom's trying to push her down, or whether that also be with her state in WWE, which we saw some tweets not too long ago. I can't really remember. Which is funny, because from what I hear, she was never associated with Stardom, and that place was only created to try and overshadow her. It's not working. Everybody's talking about Asuka, her streak, her Raw Women's title reigns, SmackDown Women's title reign. If she had more than one, I don't know. I don't blame her for being upset, being in the business as long as she was. She was also in Shimmer Women's Wrestling, which showcased a lot of talents like Alba Fire, Candice LeRae, and also Bayley, aka when she was Davina Rose. So she has a lot left to give, but she doesn't have anything left to prove. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone other than, don't fuck with me. That's it for the Eat It or Yeet It segment, and we're inching more towards the end. This is all the stuff you skip, because I'm going to start talking about my personal life. All the times that I've tried to start a project on social media, it's not really a part of procrastination. I lose hope in something, or I don't know is my suit, or I just simply don't like it. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place with my Universe Mode channel, but you guys all know about that. I specifically took off all the announcers, changed the schedule, and things are going to be a lot smoother. I've been writing a lot of, like, storylines, so that should keep everything even. But I know that this podcast is something that I've always been wanting to do. Other than in my own vicinity and stuff I'd like to record and publish, I've always been like an independent artist. I'm very selective, picky with who I want to work with. It's like, I have a Universe Mode channel, and I'm already picky with schedules, which is why I changed it. Starting with everything having to be uploaded at a specific time that is 8 p.m., I would destroy my mental and physical health if it meant I would get something out later that it was supposed to. And I would still upload anyway, but I had someone who said they could help me edit, although this person's an absolute sweetheart. My style is very simple. I still felt the need to never talk to them about it again. I'm busy as is, and knowing it would take a lot of weight off me, I still won't do it. The problem is my live event Money in the Bank is coming up in 7 weeks, and I don't want anything the way that I wouldn't do it. It sounds very selfish when I put it that way. I have a thing where, I don't know how to put it, but it's very important. If something is tweaked to the smallest of my liking and I can't use the best of my ability to change it, it's crashing down in my mind. Just like a wave of oh, this is not the same thing everyone is used to. It doesn't even matter anymore. And it sounds very, very bad. And it's not just like that with work either. I don't realize what is a toxic trait and what isn't. There are toxic elements of working with someone who wants everything to be Met Gala perfect, like a stereotypical controlling film director in a TV show. But if my food is screwed up, I'm not reordering it. If there's an ugly moment in a TV show or movie, I'm not watching it. Like, I stop watching burlesque when the guy gets the girl with public exposure. That guy gives me the creeps. Everyone had this, like... Also, there better be a true-ass conspiracy that Cher is immortal, because if she's not in this world, the world is not complete. I absolutely want to dive into the Cher demographic. There's been a lot of, like, odd weather in Tennessee recently. Like, I can't remember the last time we had a sunshiny f***ing day. Everything has gone south with the thunderstorms that are happening way too close to my house. There was a tornado miles away. Surprised I didn't have a fucking heart attack. And I just want to make it clear, I'm not going to be talking about the fires that are happening in Maui right now. One, because I don't have that much knowledge on it and I don't want to spread misinformation. Number two, this podcast is already getting kind of long and I think I'll save it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was as much content as I could squeeze out of my little brain hole. And I like talking to you guys about it. I hope you enjoy listening. If you did, please go listen to my previous episode, and there's more coming. I'll talk to you guys then.